Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming today. We're very, very excited to announce the release of the first ever State of Connecticut Reentry Report, what we hope will be the first of many. I want to thank especially the members of the State of Reentry Advisory Committee, Aaron Forrest of the Department of Correction, Beth Hines of Community Partners in Action, Daryl McGraw of Formerly Inc., Tahiba Bain of Women Against Mass Incarceration, Earl Bloodworth of the Mayor's Initiative for Reentry Affairs in the City of Bridgeport, Sue Gunderman in the Office of Mayor Luke Bronin of Hartford, Scott Wilderman, the President and CEO of Career Resources, who is very disappointed that he cannot be here today, Fred Hodges of Family Reentry, Gus Marks Hamilton of ACLU Smart Justice, Carlos Sosa Lombardo of the City of New Haven, Gary Roberge of the Court Support Services Division of the Connecticut Judicial Branch. Thank you all for your incredible contributions to this report. It absolutely would not have happened without you. I also want to thank all of the elected officials who have supported the production of this report, including Senator Tony Huang, who's with us today, Sarah Diamond, our research consultant, and the special guests we have here today, members of the ACLU, and Holly Wazalewski of the U.S. Attorney's Office. I have here a statement. As I said, our president and CEO, Scott Wilderman, could not be with us today. He did forward me a statement to read, welcoming you all. Good morning, and thank you for coming to this press conference on the release of the State of Reentry Report. The State of Reentry Report has been nearly a year in the making. It has been a collaborative effort with Department of Correction, nonprofit leaders, advocates, and returning citizens, and you will hear from some of them today. What is truly unique about this point-in-time study is that it looks at returning citizens from a local perspective. The report is divided by the 10 regional reentry collaboratives and explores the demographics of those returning to the community. Everything from race, length of incarceration, family status, employment status, and educational attainment are reviewed. We believe that the State of Reentry Report is critical for local communities, policymakers, and service providers alike to understand who will be returning to their community. It should be noted that the report does not make specific policy recommendations, but rather lays out the data for others to draw inferences or conclusions. The bottom line is that over 95% of those currently incarcerated will be coming back home. As a system, we should be prepared to understand their needs and challenges, and in so doing, we can maximize the chances for a successful reintegration. We anticipate issuing this report annually and expanding on some of the data as we refine our research. I just want to give a big shout out to Dr. David Garvey, who worked tirelessly to crunch the numbers, and to Dr. Sarah Diamond, who formatted the report and the graphs to help us tell the story in an impactful and meaningful way. At this time, I would like to thank all of our funders, specifically the Tao Foundation, the Matthew Kosbob Foundation, and John Santa, again, without whom this report would not have been possible. And I'd like to invite up Chris Landino to read a statement from the Tao Foundation.
All right, this is a message from Diane Serapina, Director of Justice Initiatives at the Tao Foundation. Despite more than a decade of transformative criminal justice policy reforms in our state, individuals returning home from Connecticut prisons continue to face many daunting obstacles to rejoining society and establishing successful lives. Career Resources, Inc. deserves great credit for undertaking the State of Reentry Data Project that documents who is returning to our communities from prison, from young adults to elders, many of whom are parents, and that calls for critical public investments to address their specific needs. The Tao Foundation is pleased to have supported this project because good data helps inform and inspire good public policies and investments and debunks misinformation. But this project's level of impact on individual lives and on public safety depends on whether the community services that make up the reentry safety net, particularly the welcome centers, get the public funding and support that they so desperately need. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris, and again, thank you to all of our funders for their support as we undertook this really enormous project. At this point, I'd like to call up Dr. Dave Garvey to talk a little bit about the data that we uncovered.
Thank you, Angela. On June 1st of last year, Career Resources received 2 data sets from the research unit of the Connecticut Department of Correction. Data set 1 was a de-identified list of individuals who had left incarceration and who were currently under community supervision on June 1st, 2021. Data set 2 was a de-identified list of individuals who were currently incarcerated on June 1 and with an end of sentence date of December 1st, 2021. The list provided basic demographics such as race, age, education, employment history, health, substance use, and other assessments by the Department of Corrections. For this report, the data was aggregated into the 10 regional reentry councils, catchment areas, by the use of the town of residence of the individuals at the time of their arrest. And that's the basic data.
Thank you so much, Dr. Garvey. And of course, the 2 essential components of any report like this are data and analysis. And so to talk about the analysis, I'd like to bring up Dr. Sarah Diamond.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning. I'm happy to share with you the findings from the report. If you look through the report, you'll see what we did was we aggregated the data. Actually, Dave Garvey is the one who did the analysis, the initial analysis with the data sets. And I was able to then portray them in graphs for everyone to see, infographics to try to make it as accessible to the general public as possible, and write up the summary of the results. I see this as a really important step for the state of Connecticut to engage in ongoing data-informed planning for the purposes of improving our system of reentry care as a whole. Many of the roundtables had requested data and were seeking data, and CRI and their leadership stepped up to the task and initiated this process, and I'm very grateful to have been part of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diamond. And finally, I would like to bring up Rob Hebert, the Senior Vice President for Reentry Affairs at Career Resources, to point out some of the most salient points of the report.
Thanks, Angela. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to be surrounded by so many friends. Makes this a lot easier. So yeah, for many years, the folks that make up the Connecticut Reentry Collaborative, Sue, Beth, myself, I see Dana Smith was here from New Britain. We've talked about the legs of the stool being, very important to people's successful reentry. Those legs being, I think we have employment back here, education, mental health, substance abuse, and other items that are contained in the State of Reentry report, which I encourage you all to read through when you have an opportunity. And I can't tell you how proud I am that we took this big first step to get this stuff in everyone's face to see. When you look at the employment report and the substance abuse issues, the mental health, and others, you see how almost impossible it is for someone to succeed when they come out without the proper supports. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I also want to call out the leadership of the Connecticut Reentry Collaborative, Beth Hines, Sue Gunderman, Dana Smith, Earl Bloodworth, who just joined us, Don Robinson, Jamie Lee. I asked Sue to print out the name of all the leadership. I can't get all their names, but there's about 20 of us who meet in our respective councils every month to share best practices, to support one another, and more importantly, to support returning citizens in Connecticut. And I want to thank all of the leadership for being so consistent and doing it on a volunteer basis, by the way. I also want to thank the agencies that support them, Community Partners in Action, Career Resources, Perception Programs, City of Bridgeport, the Workplace, the Connection, and others. Without them being so invested in this process, we would never be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rob. And in closing, I just want to reiterate what an incredible group effort this was, and how honored we are as Career Resources to be able to stand with these organizations, with all of you, everyone in this room, who has been working so tirelessly to improve reentry for all of our returning citizens. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Obviously, we will have copies of the reports for everyone here, and we look forward to engaging with you for years to come. Oh,
Senator Wong.
I'm sorry. Senator Wong, did you want to say a few words before we adjourn to the panel?
No, if you could, I do have a question.
Of
For
course.
those that are in the general audience that want to get this report, is there a website that they can obtain this?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, Senator
There you
Wong.
go.
You did
There you
ask
go.
me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So yeah, after today, we're going to get the report up on ctreentry.org website, as well as the Career Resources website, very simple, www.careerresources.org. And any of our partner agencies, CPA, City of Bridgeport, anybody that wants it, it's free to the public. We're nothing proprietary about it. So any of those websites, you'll be able to find it. Thanks. Sorry, Senator Wong.
Well, no, not at all. I just wanted to be sure that the report was available for people that had an interest in looking at the data point. I'll be quick. I'm State Senator Tony Huang. Welcome to the State Capitol. It's a beautiful building. It's the People's Building, and thank you for being here. I want to thank Career Resources and the panelists for participating today. I think the reason for this panel is to discuss the data on this report, but also to get some real-life solutions to the challenges that we as a society are confronting every day. Not only what you see in the news in regards to the potential fear and the concerns related to crime, and then some of the counterpoints related to punishment. I hope for us, this panel is an opportunity for us to address solutions. And one of the most important solutions that we need to do a far better job as a legislative and policy-making body is to look at the incredible high rate of recidivism, to look at diversionary programs for individuals, good people who have made mistakes and paid their debt to society, who want to move forward but encounter such challenges. And I always equate this to a modern version of the Scarlet Letter, that if you are formerly incarcerated, that you are wearing a burden of a debt that you have already paid. And I think we address the issue in regards to housing, economics, education, substance abuse, physical and mental health. These are all important elements that we as a general population encounter and struggle and challenge with. Combine that with the burden of the difficulty of access, the difficulty of programs, the challenges that got people in trouble in some cases in the first place that still exist. Career Resources have done an incredible job. And Reentry, Rob, it's kind of interesting. I get emails from you almost every week. And God bless you, because it's that kind of passionate advocacy. I have individuals here that have been outside this building virtually every session day, speaking out and being a voice of passion and compassion. So this panel is an opportunity for us to get together, not simply to say crime and punishment, but also a compassionate solution for those that have paid their debts, that have made a mistake, but are looking to correct their path and move forward in a positive way in a contributing manner. Being exposed and being experienced with Career Resources for over 15 years, you should go to one of their graduation ceremonies. The media should cover those graduation ceremonies. These are individuals that have made such a remarkable positive forward change in their lives. It's not just about the crime and the punishment. It's about people seeking redemption and a path forward. And Career Resources and Reentry, and hopefully our panel discussion will address some of those critical issues. So thank you very much for coming to the Capitol, and I'm excited to get the panel discussion going.
Yes, thank you so much, Senator Wong. That was actually an amazing segue into the next portion of our program, which is our panel discussion. Those of you who are watching this on live stream, we will release a recording of the panel after it is concluded. Thank you, and I hope all of you will stick around, those of you who are in this room, for the panel discussion as well.